Hey guys, welcome to the Fingerguns Podcast. I'm AJ.
And I'm Harper, and we have a lot of guests today.
Many guests.
Yeah. Okay, do you guys want to go around? Just say hi. Just say your name.
Sure. I'm Ryan Stanton. I was the stage manager for Rope.
I'm Abby Scheidler. I was the assistant director.
I'm Junia, Coe-Renner, and I was Ruth Cadell.
I'm JP Pitney, and I played Wyndham Brandon.
Hi, I'm Lily Amateau, and I played Miss Debenham.
We just finished up our production of our fall play Rope, and so we wanted to get them on to see how, just for them to share their experiences about what it was like doing a production in quarantine. We did our rehearsals over Zoom, and then we spent one day of dedicated filming in the auditorium where we normally perform.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a live performance. It was, we were on the stage and we had our set, but we had it filmed by Abby's dad, which is awesome. He's Emmy winning, apparently.
Yeah, it runs in the family.
Oh.
Okay, so we have questions for you. AJ has your first one.
I do?
Just gonna let him take
Okay,
it.
well,
You literally said you did right before we started.
Okay, well, can I have, every time I try to describe Rope to someone, I can't do it cohesively. Can one of you
Fair enough.
describe the plot of Rope?
Alright, so the story of Rope is of two college students in 1929 London. My character, Wyndham Brandon, and AJ's character, Charles Granillo, and they murder one of their peers, Ronald Kentley, and they hide his corpse in a chest, and they invite a bunch of friends to come over. Lily's character, Miss Debenham, Harper's character, Miss Elizabeth Kentley, Junia's character, Ruth Cadell, also Kenneth Raglan and Leela Arden, and our butler, Sabot. And through the course of the night, suspicion grows more and more and more, until to the third act, we all get arrested and hung.
Yep.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. I know, I think it's kind of hard to, people always ask me, oh, this player, and what are you, what is it about? But then the biggest twist in the first scene. So then
Well,
it's
I feel like it's not about the twist.
Right.
It's about the suspense.
I think it's
You really
also
get
a bit
the
about,
suspense.
at the end, they're trying to convince Ruth that she shouldn't turn them in. So it's kind of will she, let them get away with it, or will she,
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a question for you guys. What's one thing you guys took away from the play? It can be something you learned from the story itself, from the process, or anything you learned that you think is memorable.
I think for me, it was just being able to put together a show while not being able to see other people, obviously, until 1 week before we opened. So I think that it was quite the experience to go to the Zoom rehearsals and take notes watching people try and do blocking when you're not in the same room as someone else. And just really kind of stretching all the actors, and as far as the technical aspect as well, just kind of stretching everyone to be the very best they can be under crazy extraneous circumstances. So I think just seeing how people improvise, not just acting, but improvise with the situations they have, and just kind of adapt and put together a show in a time where the entertainment industry is practically shut down.
Basically, I was the assistant director for most of the time, which just meant that I sometimes had suggestions. But then during the actual tech week, I was helping my dad film everything. And if I may, I would like to tell a horror story from tech week.
Please
so,
do.
we had these mics, right? We were going to put them on their lapels so we could get all of their singular audio. And that was the plan. So the school got these mics. And of course, if you want to record audio, you need something for that recording to be on so that you can put it all together with the film, make it good, all that. However, these specific mics can only hold 32 gigs on the SD card. My dad brought mostly 64 gigs. So when trying to get the SD card to be recognized by the mic was freaking out and being like, well, actually, no, there is no SD card, or it's invalid. So we were like, we didn't know what to do, because it was just saying, oh, well, this SD card does work. So my dad was kind of freaking out, and then I researched stuff online, And a bunch of people were like, oh yeah, there's this annoying thing where it was only 32 gigs. So me and my dad had to make a very quick stop at Best Buy for a bunch of 32 gig SD cards. Shout out to Nathan, the Best Buy employee, who was able to get us 8 SD cards that were not in stock. They were just somewhere in the back, and someone had to find that. So we got those, we got back to rehearsal, and we were able to record all the audio. So, again, thank you, Nathan, the Best Buy employee. So that, just to say, there were some issues during Tech Week because we're not used to filming stuff and probably didn't know that we needed at least SD cards like that. So it was a big learning curve. It was a big, big learning curve.
Can I just say Abby is downplaying what she did for the play? She
I
just
was gonna
said,
say that as well.
oh, occasionally I give suggestions. She did much more than that, okay? She was very important. She helped us with communications. She did a bunch of things. It was basically...
She also
Go ahead.
directed, like, 3 scenes,
Yeah,
right?
like by herself.
I mean...
Yeah, you directed the Where's the Ticket scene.
Fine. All right. For the sake of the recording, yes, I did direct 3 scenes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take a bit of a different angle here. I actually learned a bit from the character that I played, I think. I'm not going to say too much about this because I want people to actually watch the show. But there is one part where Ruth, my character, kind of goes off on this tangent about, like, she's pretty amoral. Like, she kind of lives her life in a way where she defines for herself what is right and what is wrong. And I'm not totally sure, like, what to take away from that, I guess. But, like, in the end, I think that she kind of looks back on the things that she said during the night that she's, you know, at this dinner party. And she kind of realizes that even though she doesn't feel like she needs morals, like, the world needs morals. And, like, killing people for no reason is a bad thing. Which...
So to clarify, killing people for a reason
yes,
is okay.
Obviously. Yeah,
For the record. Got it. We're going to get canceled.
No. Just in this instance, killing people for no reason, especially like someone so harmless, is not an okay thing. And I think just like her whole character arc and realizing that I found really interesting and kind of made me reflect on my own morals and my own moral compass, and just in how I live my life on the daily. So, yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as your SD card story.
I just shouted out Best Buy. I don't know. I had nothing about morals.
JP, what?
Okay, something I learned about rope from doing rope was a lot of learning came from, like, the accent work, because earlier when, like, in my past life, I've just, like, toyed on doing, like, oh, I'm doing an English accent, but it shouldn't be that bad. I saw some videos, it'll just be, like, saying certain words the right way. No, it's not. You have to, like, move your lips, like, forward in, like, there's, like, a certain melody where, in, like, the study guide we got, it's like, I've always wanted to visit Paris. Like, I've always wanted to visit Paris. So that was a real challenge to learn, because I don't think I've done a show with like a serious English accent before, and learning how to do that was just like a arduous process, but a very rewarding one, to say the least. Thank you, Mr. Rose, for the accent study guide, if you're watching.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Adam.
Wow, that was...
We had a bunch of games.
The games.
AJ?
Last but not least, Lily, Miss Devenham.
Thank you. Probably what I learned and took from the show is that, of course, like during a pandemic, of course, it's really hard to put on a show during such a hard time. And probably what I'll probably remember forever is like the joy that I had, that I came and saw all your pretty faces. And I was so happy because I finally got to see you all in person, and I got to meet a lot of you, which I haven't met before, like AJ and Harper. I haven't really met you guys before. and I was so excited, and Harper and I, we like bonded so well, and I was so happy. And also with my character, because my character didn't really have any speaking lines. She just mainly reacted the whole entire time. And I mean, it was so interesting how I would play, or how someone like Mr. Wesselman would teach me what reaction I would do for this particular scene, or what I can come up with that will help me with this scene, because I didn't have any lines. So it was really fun to play her, because I've never really played a character that just had to like wander off, which is really funny because I kind of relate to her, because, you know, we all do that. We just like wander off and like wherever, right? So yeah.
I actually have a question for Harper and Lily. You guys were together a lot, because they were sisters in the play. And you guys were like in the back dining room for a lot of the play, and just had to kind of, you could still be seen, but didn't really have the...
Right. So
What did you do?
about that? Okay, first of all, Lily's character was probably my favorite in the play. We actually did one thing when we were in that room. I was with AJ
The
and
three
Lily.
of us had a
It was,
unique experience backstage.
What?
do either of you want to tell it? Lily?
Well, we were just like having a blast sniffing books. We were just having a blast, you know, we were just sniffing all the books. And we would like discover what scent it was, and just
This one smells like rainfall.
We were...
Why did no one tell me about
Well,
this?
we didn't really have time to tell you. You were so busy. But, yeah, we were... It was during a particularly long take that you guys were doing. I think you guys redid the take, like,
It was
3-4
during
times.
Josh's fight scene, I think.
Yeah.
he did like
Oh.
6
Oh my
times.
God.
Yeah. And so we were kind of tired, and so we needed to, like, you know, because we had scenes to film after that, so we were like, okay, we can't be like tired, we need to do something to like keep us busy so that we don't like lose this adrenaline. And there were only books in the room, so it's like our options
So
were very...
sniffing them was your solution?
They all had different scents.
No,
Why
they did.
read the
They
books
did.
when you can smell
It's
them?
a sensory
Well,
experience.
Yeah, but you would be surprised. You should go home and smell all your different
Sniff
books.
your books.
They
They
actually
all
have
smell
different
different.
smells.
Sniff.
Like,
They all
some were
smell-
sweet, which was really weird, and some were like musty. It was great. It's great fun.
So the less...
I have a question. Did the books smell better than the food that you guys had
Yes.
to eat on
Yes.
stage?
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh my gosh.
100%, 100%,
Does
yes.
anyone
I
want to
couldn't-
talk about that?
Okay, well, in the script, I have to take a sandwich at the beginning, and then I have to ask for another one. But then Mr. Wesselman was like, you have to eat all the food that you take. And like these sandwiches, like, they look really small, but they had been sitting out, like, for, like, hours. So the bread is all stale, so it takes forever to, like, chew it and swallow it, because the bread is, like, you know, stale bread. So, I don't know, it was just really annoying, because then when Sabot has to clear all the plates, they have to be empty for him to carry them all at the same time. It was nasty. It was not good food. It was not it.
At some point, I saw Josh take one cracker, and then it was just...
Yeah.
Okay, I can explain that. I also asked Lily to give me one cracker because I knew it would be hard to talk and eat. And I underestimated how fast the scene goes, so I had a line, but I still have food in my mouth. So the problem with crackers is that they're not like bread. They're pretty sharp. So I just dry swallowed it because everyone else has a drink. So if they wanted to, they could wash it down. But they didn't give me one because in the play I don't drink. So I just swallowed crackers, like completely, like dry down my throat to talk. And then, so I can see why Josh only took one because even that was an experience.
The dip was disgusting. Like, honestly, I
It
don't wanna-
Wait, there
looked
was a dip?
gross.
It was so disgusting.
Yeah, it was like a
like
mound.
Where was the dip?
Like the center
Oh, was it
thing.
like the
like,
It was a
cheese?
mound
like,
of...
The cheese.
Yeah,
I
like
did
yeah,
try
yeah.
it backstage. I did.
Okay, it looked gross, but I feel like I didn't try it, so I guess I don't know. But I feel like it was one of those things that looks like it would look gross, but I feel like it would probably taste not horrible. I don't know.
It's better than one plain cracker.
Yeah. Plus, I think it was from Trader Joe's, and we all know everything from Trader Joe's is just
Superior.
Amazing.
Sponsored by Trader Joe's.
Sponsored by Trader Joe's.
So what we've learned today is don't eat crackers, eat books. That's
Yes.
what I've
Yeah.
gotten from this.
That's it.
Books tell
Conversation.
stories
Okay,
not
good.
only with their words. Set the
You
pages.
need to patent this.
Scratch
You
and
need to
sniff.
patent this. This could be a real thing.
I'm writing
like,
this down.
presenting
This is a-
books. Yeah.
What's it gonna
Right.
smell
Each
like?
page
Make
has
sure
a
you get it
different flavor
copyrighted.
too.
And you have to.
It's gonna smell like cheese from.
You have to invite me and
Nice.
Liz
You
when
need to
become
smell for
famous.
every production.
I think my book is gonna
It's
smell
like the
rainfall.
smelly markers.
Yeah.
Like the Mr. Sketch markers. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Can I say something about
Yes.
drinks real quick?
Oh.
So during each rehearsal, it's my job to pretty much take notes on everything. I'm usually highly critical of most of the actors, mostly so I feel like I have something to write about, and also because it's beneficial for the show as a whole if I'm highly critical in rehearsal. So then during the show, they have all those mistakes, fixed. So during the first rehearsal, during the middle of the scene, it was our first time using props, so we filled up all the pitchers full of what would be alcohol, but obviously we're not giving alcohol to kids. Disclaimer, we're not doing that. So we filled it up with water. And so the first time, I remember no one knew how to open the things.
Oh.
I know, JP
I was just like,
we
do I
couldn't
just
figure it out.
twist it? Do I just pull it? Like,
It looked like he was trying to crack a safe with it. It just wasn't working. So then it was filled up with water, and everyone filled it up to the brim. Now, if you think about it, they're drinking whiskey and more hard liquor. They're not drinking anything soft. So they are just filled to the brim. And there's this scene in between Ruth and Brandon, or Junia and JP, and it's Junia's Brandon's oh, tell me when to stop pouring the drink, and Junia goes, when? Oh wait, no, a little bit more. So that drink got filled to the brim, and seeing Junia trying to juggle a drink while doing her lines was just incredible. And this, I remember I wrote down several times on reports, just stop filling drinks all the way up. But it's so hard because you're saying your lines while looking back and pouring this thing. It's just it was just such a disaster experience. And then Josh trying to balance his drink while he's talking with the other hand.
Poor
It
Sabot.
was just
And then also, in our first couple of rehearsals, we all had masks on the whole time, so we couldn't actually eat or drink. So you would pretend that this drink is almost empty and ask for more, and then they'd fill it more, or you slyly just chuck the drink over your shoulder and then pretend you drank it all. It was
Yeah, the drinks were a time.
Yeah.
What did we use during the actual show again?
So we used flattened out Coke that I went on a shopping trip with our director beforehand to buy flattened out Coke, like Martinelli's and what was the
Brisk.
other thing? Brisk, and then just an odd assortment of pins. It was just the weirdest shopping trip ever. Yeah, it was just, I can't imagine that tasted appealing, especially when the ice that we have in the drinks is fake and it's glass.
so they were warm and disgusting. Yes,
I couldn't get
flat,
them out.
Warm and a mixture of strange drinks is not a great combination.
And I did have to chug the flattened out Coke twice.
Oh
So-
gosh.
Fun time.
it's drink that, be quick, be quick, then drink the flattened out Coke.
We had to wash that ice every time. Just
Okay,
handful.
but we only
tried to
used,
get all the
the top layer.
I know. But I'm not even sure we got all the hand sanitizer off of everything. So did it
Oh yeah.
did anything taste like that?
Well, I mean, then there's a little bit of alcohol in the fake alcohol, right? Because
I'm not sure
spice it up a
about
little bit,
to
you know?
confirm or deny.
Dun, dun.
This is
The list of disclaimers we're gonna have to put before this is.
oh yeah. My bad.
Thanks, Junia.
We are
You're
not
welcome.
sponsored by Best Buy, Trader Joe's.
We do not drink hand sanitizer.
We only
We do
sniff
not
books.
eat books. We sniff them though.
Speaking of
Well-
doing multiple things while you're memorizing your lines, shout out to AJ real quick, who had to play an entire very complicated piano piece while doing his lines, which is just beyond me.
yeah,
And
AJ.
it was incredible, and wow.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Russellman. Thank you for being
Thank
a
you,
director.
Taylor, you're awesome.
Thank you, Taylor.
Shout out to the cast and director, because you guys had to do blocking over Zoom. You guys had to do all that stuff, which is insane. If one of you wasn't like on the same bar as each other, then the whole production would have been awful. But you guys were all like so on it, and just so thank you guys for that.
Also, adding on to the shout out to Taylor, shout out to Dan, and whoever else worked on that
Evan,
set,
yeah.
who did it all by themselves with no student help.
Yeah.
It was an amazing set. All of this, like, the entire set was beautiful, period appropriate. It was
And
awesome.
our costume,
So-
Angela, yes.
Angela.
Yes.
Beautiful pieces to wear.
Oh, that suit, the blue
Anyone else?
suit.
The lady on the back of
Yeah, so
in the chair.
yes.
What other costumes? I'm trying to think. Mine looked like what's her face?
Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, because I had this
Where
little red
in the
fedora
world?
and like a trench coat.
Yeah, everything. Like when I first came in and saw everyone and their costumes and the set, it was just so beautiful. Everything was like meticulously placed and picked and arranged, and I think it's one of the best like production designs we've had or I've seen.
Yeah, and the fact we were able to make this whole thing during quarantine and still doing the ambassador was just a blessing from God, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
The cigarettes.
Oh my
that
gosh.
was interesting.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, those matches were
my
a real
God.
trip.
Sorry, for anyone who didn't know, they gave us like real matches to light cigarettes, but the cigarettes were fake. Then when we blow them, they like chalk dust came out. But when we all tried to light them, we couldn't. It goes so fast we couldn't get it in time. So it's just a bit like.
I could
just
get
to
mine
pretend.
lit. I could light the match, but I could never get it out. I would like burn the tip of my finger every time. And then there was one point, I think this is actually in the show, I think they were filming when this happened, but I was trying to put it out and I couldn't get it out, and I dropped it because it started burning my finger, and it was on the floor and I couldn't tell if it was still lit, so I just kind of stepped on it and like walked away while I was saying my line. But I was so scared I was just gonna burn the whole set down. We love getting mistakes caught on camera. It's great.
I feel like we made so many mistakes that day. Like on filming day.
Oh yeah,
We
if
all
this was a
did.
live production, we would
would've
be
been so
exiled.
Yeah.
Oh
Like-
my
Would never let
gosh.
us back. I actually wanted to ask Lily. Lily's, you haven't acted with us. Like you haven't done a production with us before. We all worked on it last year, and this is your first one, and it's like over Zoom, and you saw us like for about 2 weeks in total, I think. So can you just tell us a bit about what that was like?
Well, I mean, it was very interesting. Like, it was really fun to be a part of a cast, especially with upperclassmen that I never really get to be a part of. And, I mean, I did do the musical last year, but, I mean, you know, it's such a big cast. I mean, I did meet a lot of other people, but I didn't really have that big of a bond because we were such a smaller cast, and with particularly in like cast and crew, I got to be closer with lots of other people and meet other people, and of course because of the pandemic over Zoom, and that's why kind of I did rope, because we had this pandemic and I'm doing volleyball at the same time, and so it was actually the perfect time to do play, because I really wanted to do a play at Maranatha. And the experience was, of course, pandemic, but we all stuck in there together, and I just thank you, Jesus, because we got to
Amen.
we got to do this, because I mean, there's lots of schools and kids that don't get to do what we did.
Yeah.
And so I'm just really blessed to be part of a cast like you, because I love you all.
Yeah, you guys were awesome
you
to
too.
work with. It was really fun, like, being able to, like, do it with you guys.
I think I was talking to Ryan about this, but like this was probably one of the least problematic casts that I've been a part of.
Agreed.
And that could partially just be because it was on Zoom, and so there was not really any space for drama anyway, but like just everyone was very chill. Like, we all just kind of got along, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I'll second that as well, just because I deal with all the administrative sides of things, and if something goes wrong or if there's a problem with a cast member, I'm normally the first person to deal with it. Yeah, it was just so nice because it allowed me to focus on everything else and allowed me to focus on just getting you guys information and props and things that'll, like, let you guys look good on stage, because ultimately that's my job.
Yeah,
so easy.
yeah, I
Awesome.
second of that. Like, as the assistant director, I was so afraid because, like, I had to tell you guys what to do, and, like, if you were doing something wrong, you guys were just so helpful about it, and you asked me for feedback, and that was, like, the most, oh my gosh, just thank you so much. It was just, if it was another cast, it might have been so much worse, especially for, like, a student leadership position, because I sure wasn't going to be like, excuse me, you're gonna listen to what I say. So thank you so much, guys, for that.
If someone were to tell me that I was doing something wrong, I'd want it to be Abby. So let's just say that, because she's really empathetic and she's super helpful.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We need to keep this positivity going
positivity
after this
circle.
podcast.
Yeah, we're not doing this for appearances. We do like
This-
each other.
No, this is all for appearances. we actually hate each other's guts. Like,
Yeah.
I can't
Oh, yeah.
stand any
Yeah,
of it.
after this,
I've already blocked all of you. Like,
posted a thing on Instagram about it. It's
This
just
will probably be the last time we
So-
speak to each other.
Well, it only remains to thank you all for the most charming company, which is even more delightful than the
The books.
Books.
Smell of the
the
books.
smell of the
the
books.
most charming evening.
Charming company. Yeah.
did we
Just watch our show, or you're really gonna be confused this episode.
just watch the show.
Just watch the show.
On Vimeo, the Maranatha Vimeo. It'll be there. You can find it at Maranatha_arts on Instagram. The link will be in the bio.
We are not sponsored by Vimeo,
hope.
Maranatha Arts, or Instagram.
Or Netflix, or
Trader Joe's,
Q
Best
Maps,
Buy.
or whatever.
Disneyland.
Or Nathan from Best Buy.
You guys have to do an update episode with
Sure.
Nathan.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well, thank you guys for being here. This was so much fun.
I
And
know. We've never. Yeah.
I hope that you guys can come back, because, like, man, I had a blast with this.
We've had a
This
few
will
of you
be
on.
such a good, like, nostalgia thing to listen to in, like,
Oh,
5
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
That or
We gotta
Oh
we
my
gotta do
God.
this
A
for
mix.
our next couple shows too.
We
So
must.
you remember everything.
Thank you both for having all
Yeah,
of
thank
us.
you.
It's been so much
freaking
fun.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting us all here.
Thank you.
Of course.
And I'm sorry to the other cast members that are not here with us right now. It's nothing personal, I promise.
It's really not.
Love
It's
you
our
guys.
mistake.
Well, we'll talk to you guys next week, maybe.
If we're not dead yet. Why maybe?
Well, because we're like busy with life.
And
Because I have things to do, Harper. Jeez.
Okay. And scene.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.